Go ahead and get started with Keynote. I'm just going to go ahead and search up and let you know what Keynote looks like. It's this one right here. Basically, Keynote is like it is the Google Slides of Mac. So if you open it up, it might look something like this. All you guys are going to do is just pick a new document. All right, you're going to pick a new document and it's going to give you this theme. If this is the first time you have ever opened up Keynote, there's a lot of things that you guys can check out. They have very basic presentations, nice minimalist ones, bold, editorial, like as you can see, lots of different kinds of ideas. We're going to go ahead and just stick with basic, and we'll start out with classic white. And make sure that it's widescreen, not squared. Okay, that's something that a lot of people, for some reason, it might default to that, which is quite odd. But remember, it is this one here. So if you were going to do a... So if you opened up a square presentation, if you go to where it says documents and you go to the slide size, it's going to be widescreen because that's how we watch TV now, widescreen. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of this right here because we don't really want to worry about it. We just want to start off on a blank canvas. The next thing you guys want to make sure and do is just go ahead and do command file and save this project. So file, save. And I'm going to go ahead and title this graphic practice. So now, just in case anything happens, my computer shuts down, you lose some battery, everything will kind of be saved. All right, that's always a really good thing to do whenever you're working on stuff that isn't a cloud. So with your, to get started with your animated graphics, a lot of it looks like it does in Pages, okay? We have our text box here, so I'll just pop something in and I'll pick a nice little text here and I'll just write on my name. And I'll make it nice and pretty. Maybe I'll make it like, oh, that's quite large. Right in the middle. Remember, with the text colors, you can do a lot of the same thing that we have done before. You can have it normal. You can do a gradient. You can do advanced gradient. There's a lot of different options if you wanted to try it out. I'm going to go ahead and just do a normal text color. Let's open up this little window here. Maybe make it a bit there, maybe a bit darker. Ta-da, looks great. All right, same thing as it goes. If you wanted to ever add a shadow, give it a bit of depth, there's also all that stuff that you can do. It's the same thing in Pages. So I really like to introduce Pages first, and then we get started on everything else. So I'm going to put in a little bit of a text box here. I'm going to move it down there. And then now I'm going to show you the different things that you guys can do in regards to first bringing in your graphics and then animated them. So here we have our shapes. It's the same exact thing that we have with everything. So you can pick a few that you would want to drop in. But what I'm personally going to start out with is I'm going to bring in a photo and show you what you can do with it. So I want my photo to be in a circle. So this is a way that you can actually mask it. So I'm going to go to basic, bring in my circle. I'm going to make if you hold down shift, it keeps something in proportion. So I'm going to go ahead and just make it quite large here. Holding down shift, bring that in. And then I'm actually going to have these on 3 different lines. You'll see how this will work out. That's going to work out a bit better. And I have a picture here that I want to drop in my downloads. I got to come all the way to the bottom. And I think it's going to be... I think I'm a little serious in this one. Nah. Let's see this one. All right, looking good. So what you do if you ever wanted to mask a photo within anything like Pages or Keynote, you bring in a shape and then you can literally just bloop, you just drop in your picture. Of course, right now it's not working for me. Very sad. There we go. And then it's going to give you this little message. It's okay. Just hit all right, because we're not really dealing with the iPad or the iPhone. And there we are. Now it's actually giving me the option of how big or small I want to make my circle. And I want to make sure I fill it all up. And I'm going to put that in there. And now I've masked my little shape. And what's really cool is that you guys can pick anything. So let's say I wanted to do a heart, right? I can bring this heart in there. And I can do the same thing. So let's see if I have another one. Here's a picture of a very cute Frenchie. I just love it. All right, so I'm going to just do the same thing. Drop it right into the heart. Move that little Frenchie around. I can also make it quite small. and then just hit done and ta-da! Oh my goodness. I mean, it's perfect. Now the image styles, you have a lot of options. I can put a nice little border on it. I can make the line quite thick. I can give it a different color. So the world is your oyster. Let's go ahead and give this little guy a border as well. All right, looking pretty good. Now these are just some images. So that is a really cool way you can bring pictures in and give them a mask. But as well, we can do a lot of different stuff, right? Like remember, if I wanted to bring in, let's see, a queen's crown. Remember, to rotate an object, all you have to do is just hit Command. And if you go to a corner, you can put it over there and then you can rotate it. So let's go ahead and make it yellow. Actually, I think maybe a advanced gradient is going to be a bit better. Make it circular, and then I'm going to pick some nice yellows here. There's one, and in the middle, maybe I'll pick another yellow, who knows. Sometimes you do find that with, when you're messing around with stuff like this, it really gets a bit frustrating because you have to like do quite a bit of adjustments. So just be patient, don't get frustrated. You just have to keep clicking on stuff. All right, so I put some images there. If I wanted to change the background color, one thing that actually works out a lot now is that I could just go to color fill and I can just drop anything in. You can do an advanced gradient as well, which is really nice. So this is, instead of having to put a box in the background, now you can have this option, which I think really helps out a lot. All right, I think linear might work out pretty well. Okay, so here we are, we've made our stuff. It works a lot like it does on Pages, but here comes the fun part with our animations. There's a magical little button over here that says Animate. And when you open it up, you have 3 different boxes, okay? Building in is to introduce an object, okay? How do you want it to pop on in? When you add an effect, what it does is that it gives you all of these options, okay? It goes from, if you see appear and move, it starts with very like classic ones to ones that get a little bit more like, all right, you're feeling more, want to pizzazz it up. And then the last one I like to call these like disco effects. It's like situations like this. Wow. Or a shimmer. Woo. Transform. Personally, you know how Miss Gat, she feels about things. She likes things to be very simple. I usually like to do like a little fade and scale or something, but really it's your decision. Now, when you have brought something in, then you have a lot of options of what you can do. You can decide how fast and slow something will come in and out. All right, so it can be quite quick or it can last for like 20 seconds, which we don't even have that amount of time, honestly. So, nah. All right. The scale also matters as well. So if I was going to scale something really big, let's just see this here. There you go. Or if you wanted just to do it quite small, ta-da. So if it's coming in or coming out, it's your decision. So I have this one here. I'm going to make all of these pop in their own way. A drop is really cool because you can decide where it comes in from. And let's go ahead and put in this little guy. Let's have him move in. And then so he'll move in from left to right. But I can also, if I open this up, can make him from all these directions. And it'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! So one thing you're going to notice here is that you see like a number starts, like order, and there's these numbers. Your build order is going to be very, very important when you start putting together all of your graphics because it's basically how you want things to play out. So if I open up this button right here where it says build order, you see that there's some options. Here is the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. I have the option of having things start when I click, which really is kind of annoying, or you can have things happen after a transition, which means it happens more automatically. So let's say I want all of these to happen with each other. If I pick with each other, they'll happen simultaneously. So let's check it out. I can just hit preview. And now it's a little bit too much. So maybe I'm thinking, they can happen after each other. Now you can see here, I missed one. I missed my little crown. So maybe I want my crown to do we'll do a shimmer. And I want to make sure it happens with the photo. So then here, if I know my image is there, I'm going to go ahead and drag that up right there. And I'm going to happen with build 2. And this one, so let's preview this now. All right. So there's a very simple way to do some of your, to animate some things. All right. we'll start off that with there. I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of this, Command C, Command V, and start anew on this page to show you some other really cool effects that you can do. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So now we have these different effects here. If you ever wanted to get rid of them or have things move out, you would do something, you would go to build out. Build out's the opposite of build in. How do you want things to disappear, right? So I could do an expand. That one's going to leave. This one here, you have to go to build out, and I'm going to have it swoosh away. And this guy, I'm just going to show you all these different ones, is a crumble. Oh, this is very Thanos. Lovely. I actually personally hate all of this. But so I'm going to select all of these by holding down Shift and clicking on each one. And if you go to the build order, I can pick all three of those, and I'm going to happen after the previous build. And this one with, and let's get a preview. So this is how they show up, and that's how they disappear. All right. There we go in regards to building out and building in. Now, some really cool things that you guys have as well is that you can go ahead and add some actions to things. So I'm going to just, for this new slide, I'm deleting all this build order. So now none of them are animated. If I go to animate and I go to an action, what action does, it allows you to move things around in a really cool manner. So for example, I'll delete my name here. But let's say I want these two things to meet up, okay? I'm gonna make this a bit smaller and we're gonna see why. So I'm gonna have them build in. I'm gonna have this one just fade and scale and do, well, I'll have this, actually I have this one move in from right to left, have this one move in from left to right. But do you notice how this one's quite slow and this one's faster? So I want them to match up. So this one's going to be 1 second as well, and I'll hit enter. All right. My build order, I'm going to have them both happen at the same time, and this one's going to do after transition. It is really, really important that you do take time to look at your build order and when things are happening. But now if I go to my actions, here's something that's really cool. I can take this, add an effect, and some of my favorite for sure are move. Because what move does is, remember how it allows you to move it wherever you want. So let's say, and it kind of works like the pen tool, you draw a line, right? So I have my little deal, and I'm gonna take myself on a bit of a journey. I'm gonna bring myself, let's do it like right here. And then I'm gonna put this one as well, add an action and have a move. And I want my little puggy, I need to zoom out a bit, to move here. All right. Not my little puggy, my Frenchie. How could I have gotten it so wrong? And I can also decide how slow this goes. Watch. So I can make this maybe last like 3 seconds. And if I hit a preview, ta-da! And then this one here, also make it last 3 seconds. Let's see it. Ta-da! And I can see where each one of these is going to end up. So let's go ahead and open it up. We can see if I open that there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in. Oh, that zoomed in way too much. I had to do a fit slide. And if I go to my build order, I can make sure to make my moves happen also after each other. So let's make it after build 3 and then see how this looks. They come in. I go to the middle, kind of. This person goes, the doggy goes down there. I stopped it. And there we are. But there's even more that I can do, actually. Another thing I could do is I can make my object also scale up really big. The same thing here too. And make sure it's in the right place. And let's preview it again. If I just go to this entire build order situation. And there you go. That's some options you can do as well. That's how action moves. So action, you can, remember, it's not going to introduce something and it's not going to make something exit, but you can make it grow quite a bit. Now, there's even more other things that work out really well that you can have some fun with. So I'm just going to go ahead and add, I'm going to copy this slide here, but I'm going to delete everything. So one really cool thing from Keynote is something called Magic Move. Now the difference between Magic Move and the Move tool is this. Magic Moves works between slides, and it's kind of like a very intuitive tool. So basically, let's say I'm going to put, I have some nature here. So I'm going to have a sunburst. Okay, so I have the sun. All right. Let me go ahead and format it. I'm going to give it a little bit of a gradient fill. Not the same one. Rude. So I'll make it yellow. And make this one like a bright red or like this. And then I'm going to change my background color to a pretty blue. I'm just going to make it easy on myself. All right, looking good. So in this one here, I'm going to start out my sun right down there, okay? I'm going to copy and paste this, and I am going to move this sun right into the middle and into this corner, all right? I have not added any sort of transition or any kind of animate. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go to where my slides are on the left. I'm going to hold down Shift and select this one and select this one. When I go into Animate, it starts to give you an effect. So you can add an effect, and there is something here called Magic Move. And what Magic Move does is that it predicts, where you think it wants to go from this point to this point. And as you saw, if I was going to preview it, it took care of it for me. It's very seamless and looks really, really nice. Magic Move sometimes works well in situations like this if you want to move things around quite easily, but sometimes when it's smaller objects or you want to have more precise kind of movement like we did in the other ones, it's better to use your action tool and your build in and out, okay? There are so many things that you guys can do with your animated graphics, but what I want you to spend time with today is doing this. Have fun with bringing in graphics, having fun with text, and animating them and moving around, okay? Also experimenting with Magic Move. On Google Classroom, what I have here is I've included some Keynote animation tutorials that you guys, if you ever want to check out how to do some stuff within Keynote, it starts off very easy, going over some things that I have, morphing shapes, etc. And then it gets quite advanced where you can even like put in some videos, etc. So this is really self-guided and you guys experimenting with stuff, but I really challenge you to go ahead and have some fun with it. I am looking forward to seeing you guys very soon. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Take care, guys.